Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about today is this video making the bus monitor cry. I guess this was a video that was recorded by some school kids on the bus, either on the way to a trip or on the way to school, something like that. Um, and I have to be honest with you, I could not watch this whole video all the way through because I found it to be so disturbing and it made me so angry that um, I couldn't even watch it all the way through the whole video. Um, a lot of the times we talk about, bullying within the school, like kids bullying other kids and stuff like that. But sometimes it actually happens where kids will bully the adults in the school. They'll bully their teachers. They'll bully the assistant helpers, or they'll bully the substitute teachers, and a lot of times those things don't get addressed because they're kids and they're bullying an adult. But sometimes things can get taken to an extreme level, like in this case where these kids actually, this woman should sue. This woman should sue the parents of these kids, and she should sue these kids for harassment, because what they did went beyond just your average bullying. For a child to make a grown person cry, they have to do and say a lot. They talked all kinds of stuff about this lady. They talked about her weight. Um, they talked about um, even making fun of her when she was crying, or saying, is she sweating because she's too hot because she's fat? And they just had all kinds of horrible things to say, and they were cursing and they were vulgar. And I don't understand what is happening with the youth of America, where their mouths are just out of control. Their actions are out of control. And then when we have a couple of kids that are actually doing the right things, they end up getting involved in some situation where they end up getting shot and killed, or something ends up happening to them because they're just an innocent bystander, just walking down the street, and they get hit with a stray bullet. It just makes no sense why our society is the way that it is. Um, this bullying thing with these kids that are just awful. I mean, this stuff really needs to stop. Like, there really needs to be an end to the way just people mistreating each other like this. Um, I really felt so much pain for this woman and the parents of these kids. You need to get these kids into some kind of counseling or something, because something is seriously wrong with your children. Like, there is no reason why your kids should lack so much remorse for human beings that they could do this to somebody. If they have if they lack that much remorse, then they're probably going to end up to grow up to be like a serial killer or something. Like, this is where it starts. Like, you need to get your kids into some kind of counseling program, some kind of after school program, something where they can, I don't know what kind of program you could get them into, but they need to be in something that probably isolated, or something where they can learn how to act like a decent, normal human being. And it may not be the parents' fault, because sometimes the parents can do all the right things and the kids will still turn out bad. But that means that the parents need to be taking extra in every step that they possibly can to work towards making sure that their kids don't turn out to be some, crazy person. And like, there's lots of things out there to help troubled kids. And also, I encourage people to, if you have any extra time on your hands, or anything that, if you're just sitting around the house or you don't know what to do, please volunteer. Please volunteer to help to mentor a child, because Sometimes all kids need is to have somebody lead by example to show them um, the right way to go in order for them to change their life around. Now, with kids like these, a lot of the times what they need to do is get their brains reprogrammed. That's why I'm saying that that they need counts. They need serious psychological help. Probably I never condone medication, but maybe they need to change in diet. Maybe they need to take the sugar out of their diet, take all of that take the meat out of their diet, all that stuff that causes aggression and clogs your arteries and causes you to be aggressive and mean spirited. All that stuff needs to be taken out of these kids' diet because obviously something is severely wrong with them for them to be comfortable, for you not to feel. I mean, your conscience should at least kick in at some point where you're like, this is wrong. And for all of them kids that were sitting around that bus and didn't do anything to nothing to stop it, something's wrong with those kids too. Because there would be no way that me, even at that age, and I remember how I was at that age, there would be no way that I could sit by and allow something to happen to just anybody, even if it wasn't an adult. Because my mother raised me differently than that. And she raised me to have compassion and love for people and stand up for people that are hurting and that need an advocate. There would be no way that I could sit there on that bus and allow something like that to happen and not say anything. It couldn't it couldn't have been me. It never would have been me. And for all those kids that were sitting on that bus, if you see something like this happening around you, you need to stand up and say something. And if you all band together and say something, the bullies, they get intimidated by that. And they'll stop doing what they're doing because they don't want everybody ganging up on them. But if you just sit by and allow it to happen, that means that you're condoning it, and that means that you're agreeing to it. It doesn't, and that means you're just as bad as the people that are doing the actual deed. So pretty much that's all that I wanted to say about that. I will leave a link in the, oh, and another thing I wanted to say about that. The school with these bus monitors, there's got to be another way to go about doing this and ensuring that I don't know if you need to have a security guard and a bus monitor on the school bus, but there, and the bus driver should have also stepped in or something. He should have pulled that bus over, and he or she should have pulled that bus over and said, "What is going on back here? You kids should not. You kids need to go and sit down somewhere and shut up, and you need to leave this lady alone." Something should have happened there, and maybe this particular school system needs to have a security guard and a monitor on the bus. And also, what I was going to say is that I'm going to leave a link in the description below where you can actually go and file a complaint with this particular school system. And maybe you could give them some kind of suggestions on how better to handle these kind of bus monitor situations, or how they can better handle the disciplinary actions when it comes to stuff like this. Because a lot of times when stuff like this happens, they would just sweep this kind of stuff under the rug, and it's not the type of stuff that you should sweep underneath the rug. So that's all that I wanted to say about that, and you know, it is what it is. All right, thanks. Bye.